sum up, John and Igor, they both come from furniture design, and their approach to this market, tech accessory market, there's a lot of really good products, so we didn't want to come and bring some new product. Most of the product we found out was driven by function, and it's really like really good solution to problems. Again, from their background, they wanted to bring an alternative, something that would make you feel like set apart from the ordinary, so really like make you feel individual. I used to take always the same example, and I say, like the watch, we all have different watches, we all wear different clothes, and the watch we wear, the wallet we have, tells a lot about us as individual. The shirt I have today, your shoes tells a lot about you, because you pick these shoes, it tells something about you. But we all have the same phone, and the kind of tech market is really kind of uniform and kind of commoditized, even though now it's changing that most lifestyle. But that was really the kind of original approach. So we have different product categories, so cases, so this is one example of kind of wooden phone cases we do, and we started doing. Charging cables, again in terms of like looking at our user, the beginning, so I enhanced the way you use your tech, and we looked at the different needs. Protection, so in the case, you want to keep your piece of tech charged, so charging range, starting with cables. Charging docking station. And audio was actually the original category, so they started with handset and then speaker. And funnily now is our smallest product category, so really the other category took a bigger part of the mix. So I did two case studies. So one of them is the Kickstarter campaign, which just finished a few weeks ago, Eclipse. And before that, I wanted to start with the cable range. So it's not really a product, it's more like the cable range and how we end up doing cables. As a designer, it wasn't really fun when we arrived in the meeting room. And at this time, we were doing audio and case. And we'd just been approached by Apple to put some of our case, so the wooden case actually, because they were looking for like a premium product. And we are looking at, like, again, opening new categories, and this Apple meeting finished. Igor came back and said, you know, guys, we really should look at charging cable. And I was with Chris, one of the designers at this time. I'm like, shit, we're going to have to design a cable. And as a designer, it's not the most exciting product you could think of. So the way we approach like opening a new category, again, there's a lot of existing cables in the market, and we didn't want to make another cable. Was to look at user scenario and user need and try to think about why people buy a charging cable. So that first user scenario we put together was like, all right, so you buy a phone, you get a charging cable with your phone, so you might want to buy a cable that you will keep always with you in your pocket, and that's going to be the one you use at the office. I'm not going to spend too much time in the design process, but that's the first cable we launched. It's called Jump. It's also our first Kickstarter campaign, so we launched it in January 2014, so 3 years ago. And we raised 370,000, which was quite amazing at this time, because it was really like a small project within the design team. Yeah. So the original starting point really in our user scenario, and again, I'll spend more time in the second project in the process. It was something you carry around, so we wanted to make it small, and the first challenge was to make it fit in this coin pocket that we all have, or men have. So that was part of the brief, like, it should fit in this small pocket. So we designed a cable that wrapped around like plastic casing and clips, so it's really clean and neat, and it doesn't tangle in your pocket. And then you unroll it, and it's basically your everyday charging cable, so you charge your phone from a laptop at the office. And the second kind of feature and then needs we kind of identified, it was like how amazing it would be if you could charge your phone even without plugging your cable, because obviously there is more and more USB available now in like train station, bus stop, everywhere. But we're suddenly saying now we have this casing in the middle, we have to put like battery inside, and every time you charge your phone, you actually save some power in the middle. It's basically the cable that charges itself. And what eventually the result is too small battery, 800 milliamps, so it's not like a proper power bank. It will give you just enough power to go to your next charging point. So you know, you run out of battery. It's always the worst moment when you have this important phone call to do. And so we're like, okay, we want to keep it small. So small battery capacity in the pocket, just enough to give you to the next charging point. We came up with this story, and before going on Kickstarter, we put in the front of a few buyers and a few like key partners. The response was really bad. At this time was just after Mophie, so the leader in the power bank, just launched a small power bank that clips to a key, 700 milliamp similar capacity, and it was a commercial disaster. And the first reaction was like, guys, be careful. This is a power bank. It's a small power bank. There is no market for it. You're gonna fail. And we're like, no, it's not a power bank. It's a cable. You know, it's a cable. It's your everyday cable. And it's like, you know, power bank. You gotta charge it separately. It's really annoying as a user. My phone's always empty, and I have a power bank. And every time I need my power bank, I forgot to recharge my power bank. It's like this is the little thing that will be always in your pocket. It's your cable, and it's always charged. So again, it was really highly driven by the first user scenario we put together. We kind of validate these ideas through Kickstarter. So this particular case, Kickstarter was really a validation kind of, to validate the kind of user scenario we had put together. Following Jump, so that was 3 years ago. As you can see, we developed a full range of charging cable. All of them, I'm not going to go too much into detail, all of them have like different user scenarios. They all have like different purpose. We approach them, so for example, this one that clips on key. It's just a small charging cable that you always have with you. And we were thinking, what do you always have with you? Your keys, how we could like turn a keyring into a charging cable. And then it goes to like different needs, up to like longer cable that you use at home. And I'm going to focus and spend a bit more time, 2 slides on this product here we call My Cable, which a different user scenario where after looking at, so if you look at the range, basically we have half, if I can come back.
Yeah, no, the one on the left.
Yeah, we have half of the range, which is really designed for kind of on the go, and the rest of the range is really designed for like a home use. My Cable is our hero product. It's the one that brings the most revenue within the whole range. And again, it's not the one that sells the most in terms of quantity, but and again, it's based on a really simple user scenario. So we found out this data on the Business Insider, and that was really, again, we didn't spend a lot of time with small company. I don't know if it's still a startup, but we were small at this time. And we had no budget to do like focus group and like big study and stuff, so we just started picking insights and try to understand, and we got this data from an online survey. 80% of iPhone users charge their phone at night, and start asking around, it's like, yeah, I need to not use my phone as an alarm clock. So the user scenario was pretty simple. So we looked at user needs and pain points. Again, I'm not going to go too much in detail, I'll show that with Eclipse. And the 2 pain points we kind of identified was the cable is often too short, the one that you get with your phone. You don't necessarily have a power plug next to your bed if you charge on your nightstand. So let's make it long. We use like braided cable to make it warmer and fit this kind of home environment. And the second pain point, and that was again in one of our founders, Igor, he was really strong about this. It was like, it's so annoying, you know, my cable keeps falling off my table, and he has this kind of really heavy concrete table, nightstand, and it keeps falling at the back of the stand, so he has to pull out, and he was really like frustrated. So that was the kind of 2 starting points. So we start thinking, how can we make this cable so add a weight, maybe separated weight. We went into different iteration, prototypes, and testing, and come back, and we couldn't find the right solution. It was never good. We went to like magnets, stuff you attach them to the wall, but you don't want to attach anything to the wall. And after 3 or 4 rounds of ideation, we find this. It's called Monkey Fist. It has been designed actually centuries ago by sailors. And it's funny because I really like this kind of simple, again, like user tricks that bring innovation without any technology. They had exactly the same problem. Like when they arrive at the port, at the pier with their boat, they throw a line, and the weight of the line will bring the line down into the sea, which is exactly what's happened on your cable. You put your cable on the table, the weight of the cable will bring it down to the floor. So they made a knot and basically create a weight onto the line. So we just took it directly, and first it looks cool, and it created a little weight so the cable stays where you leave it. We launched it, late 2014. So it's actually not a real knot, it's an additional piece we put on top of the cable. And it has a little metal weight inside. So just give you enough weight to stay, but not too much weight if you want to use your phone. And you can slide it around. There's no fix. So this is really for like the first case study of the cable range and Eclipse. And I'll check the time. Perfect. 12 minutes. So, and now we're going to talk about Eclipse, and I'm going to try to go a bit more into the detail of the design process. And just, again, focusing on the topic of tonight, which is the kind of user-centric, user-centered design process. There is many different things we could talk about making a Kickstarter. I have co-led this project with a guy called Arthur that runs the digital team in our company. So I'm really going to focus on the design process. If you have any questions about Kickstarter, making a video, making like pre-campaign, the campaign, we can talk about it after, feel free. And I've received a lot of good advice from my friend at Kilo here, actually Antoine, and it's really, I learned that sharing is good, so I'm really happy to share as much as I can about the Kickstarter experience after. So the starting point of Eclipse, it's opening a new product category. So exactly in the same way we opened the cable category with Jump, which was something really different and special in the market. So it makes people talk about you. It brings a lot of PR, a lot of eyes on the company, and especially from the buyer. Again, you approach a new product category, the buyer has already a limited number of peg, and you're going to ask him to remove some of the existing player to put your product on top. So you want to bring a first product before like bringing a range, a first product that kind of make people talk about it. At this time, no matter how much effort we put into designing great cables, charging cable, beautiful with different functions, we still had this frustration that I think we all share of having a bunch of messy cable next to your sofa, next to your bed, everywhere in the office. Especially with our target, we're really kind of targeting design-savvy people that take care of their home, and we have more and more USB devices to recharge, more and more stuff like pieces of tech. So this problem gets worse and worse. We do believe in wireless charging, and again, we've been waiting for wireless charging. However, right now there is no standard. There is cheap, but it's not really accepted by the majority of our customers. There's different standard fighting, and there's a lot of limitation with current wireless charging technology, charging speed. You have to leave your phone, you can't use it while charging. So we do believe there is still a few years of cable, and we wanted to find a solution to that. So learn about the audience, and define your brief. That's supposed to be the sentence. So we had a lot of assumptions and ideas, and we started asking around. They were like, oh yeah, we all have this problem, bunch of cable, messy, it's annoying. But we needed some data to kind of prove all these kind of assumptions we had. So what we did is we done a survey, and we sent a link to our database of customers. We put the link on social media, and we got 1,500 replies, which was really amazing. And ask them a lot of questions. Where they charge, how many devices they have, what type of devices, what type of connector, do you use wireless charging? Try to list everything you can charge with USB. So do you have a portable speaker, a power bank? Do you have a smartwatch, an activity tracker? So really try to ask as many questions as possible and get as much data as possible. So that's kind of a sum up of a few information, obviously. So our kind of target was mainly from the US, 18 to 45. That's really amazing. Again, it's where they charge. So it was a multiple choice, so it goes more than 100% if you have it. But 91% bedroom, so again, you kind of confirm this original data we had. So people really mainly charge at night next to their bed, office, living room. And that was really key for us. So we are approaching a new category of product, USB charger. Basically, we've been doing cable, and now we're looking at what's at the end of the cable. the charger, the charging piece, the power adapter. This market now, in the same way that when we approached the power market with the jump, when this market was driven by big power capacity and people told us be careful with small capacity, we faced exactly the same issue. This market now is like people buy USB charger with like 10 USB ports. And we couldn't understand like why you need like 10 USB ports. So we really wanted to define how many people own and how many devices you charge every day. And that was key for the brief, and you'll see after how we define the brief. So the result is an average 6 devices owned. So again, it includes like everything, car bank, speakers. And actually they charge 2.55, so 2.5 devices every day. What we were trying to prove here is even if you own 6, 8, 10, 4, any number of devices, you don't charge them all at the same time, so you don't need like a touch USB. We also leave like an empty block to kind of share the demonstration. And they could also send photos. We received a lot of photos of their charging station. And that was kind of fun. Our cable everywhere, not in a socket at all. So multiple power adapter that block all the sockets. Not enough power makes charging multiple devices frustratingly slow charging. My bedside table looks like a spaghetti bolognese. We got that again and again, like people referring their cable to spaghetti, which is quite fun. I don't know if it's the same in the US. And then lots of photos. So from this, we basically build, so this is again kind of very similar to what we do every time we approach a new product. And I think it's really basic. Again, we are an in-house design studio. We don't really have time to do like deep research and then pay like expensive marketing company to do research. Just like something that we can all do. We don't need a big team to do that. This project has been run by 3 people, including me. So I put a list of needs. So quick workshop, again thinking like what's the needs and kind of validate all these needs with the survey. So people need to charge multiple USB devices. They need a solution to this cable mess. So they need to charge fast. It needs to be compatible to any devices because there's so many different devices and connectors. And then we wanted to make it fit like a home environment because we found out that people charge at home. And this is more like from a design perspective. We were really excited about designing something that we're almost ashamed and leave on the floor, and then make a beautiful product that you'll be proud to put on your table, glorify it, almost put it on the wall. And with our list of needs, we start building a list of features. And that's really the base of our design brief. So charge multiple devices, how many devices? Survey told us 2.5, so let's put 3 USB ports. Maybe a USB Type-C or one that can be turned into USB Type-C. It's a new standard coming. We wanted to make it future-proof. Needs cable management. Needs to be fast charge, so like big amperage, smart IC to prioritize the charge. That's kind of industry standard. Bring your own cable, so that's quite challenging from a product design perspective. You want to design something universal that anyone can bring their own cable. It's different size, different diameter. And fit, again, home environment, so that's kind of having a front panel where we can play with material like we do with our case, so play with natural material, with wood, with marble, braided cable. Even wall mounting, again, like I don't know if you know this CD player from Fukazawa for Muji, and it's like, you know, like just take something and put it on the wall so that it becomes like an art piece. That means I have still 5 minutes left. And then from that, understanding the needs and defining a list of features, we went straight into ideation and prototyping. So I put some of the really early sketches and research. That like one of the first sketches we put on the whiteboard. And our idea was a kind of silicon piece. So we'll have the USBs here, and it's kind of ball-shaped silicon, and you can like flip it, like return it, and then roll all your cable around. Put it back, and you kind of hold all the cable together. We kind of draft the persona very quickly. It's like, so this guy is called Ben, he's like designed at Portland. He needs to charge his devices every day. This is the type of devices he has to recharge every day. This is how his charging station looked like. We just put like a cable, necessary cable to charge the devices we just showed. And the first had really, actually the first one was on the plug, so we had this kind of circular piece directly on the socket. And quickly we removed it by doing the prototype. We realized that going down, you don't want to go down to roll your cable around. Also, it's really unstable. There is different types of plugs. So we say having an extension cable actually give an extra branch to your existing cable. So that was one of the first really drawing. It's not really appealing, and you have this kind of silicon base. You reverse it. You'll put your USB here and roll the cable around. Quick mock-up, like CNC cut a piece of wood. We have a small CNC machine in the studio. It's really printed. This is something we found in the kitchen next door. Piece of silicone, like full of silicone. And just testing really, like playing around, put the cable, turn, like see how it works. Put this in the front of as many eyes as possible, so show it to like key partners, people in the company, people, friends, family, people that have no idea about tech devices. And kind of learn from the response from people. Obviously, lots of different feedback. This was far from perfect. And we will do that again and again, like multiple rounds of ideation, testing, prototyping, showing, going back to the original brief. So that, going back to the original brief, and again, I wish I had more time to talk a bit more about this. It's really simple. It looks like there's a lot of text here, but it's the same thing as before. One good way when you're in the design process, you're tempted to put as many features as possible. You want to put everything, and you feel like adding feature will make it a better product. It's actually most of the time wrong. So it's really simple Moscow technique when you just prioritize the features like must, should, could. And we looked again in our brief. In the original brief, we had like much more feature. We had like wireless charging. We had like so many different features. The possible one, and you keep like the one the must have. You can't remove charging multiple USB devices. You can't remove like the cable management. This is part of the project. Fast charge, if there is a price issue, basically you look at the level of complexity that it will have, each feature will have, and you see is it worth or not doing it. Fast charge, yeah, it should have it. However, we can discuss how we can make compromise. Compatible to any devices and connector, it should be, but again, we can make compromise. It's not a blocking point for the project. And all this kind of design side, wire mounting backlight, it could have it. It's nice to have. It can bring excitement to the project, but again, you got to look at that, like the cost impact of this, the complexification of this. If I had it here before, we had like wireless charging. People are, yeah, it would be nice that actually I put my phone on top of it and it will charge my phone of my ball on the wooden disc. Yeah, it could have it. It could have wireless charging, but if you put wireless charging, it will have like massive level of complexification in terms of like development costs, component integration, and that will benefit to a very small amount of our users because we know from our survey that only 4% of our users use cheap right now. So again, that's really a kind of simple design process. Putting priority to your feature, and from your feature, from your need, having a list of features. From this list of features, drafting a little benefit. And it's really hard, it's a difficult exercise to make a difference between the need and benefit. But it's really helpful when you have to start making your first presentation, when you have to start making your Kickstarter video, your Kickstarter page. Kickstarter is all about bringing a very clear story that flows. You want people to look at it. You know, we have like videos and information all over from the internet. You want people to look at it and understand that in a very simple way. So you don't want to talk about the feature. You don't want to talk about the need. You really want to focus on why it's good, what's the benefit. So this is all the bullet points we use on the page. Basically, you can charge all the device utils. They'll free up your power socket. It's neat, easy to access. The cable management is not only good because it looks good. It's good because you can access your cable. There is no cable jam. It charges fast, so it's going to make you save time. If you say people there is a smart IC at 7.8 amp, most people have no idea what it means. If you tell them you're going to save time because it's going to charge faster than happy and say, yeah, great. It's got a Type-C. What is a Type-C? Hey, don't matter. It's future-proof. In the future, we might move to Type-C. So that's really the kind of benefit you want to push through the page. And then refining the brief, and when you get again into like a few rounds of iteration, sketches, prototypes. I took some of the early prototypes. I mean, with the different round of prototype, I can pass them around. You can see like how bad they are. Some of them are just foam, a piece of foam. But you can start playing with it, see the size. It helps you like to see from this, for example. You need to hold this piece and wrap your cable around. You give this to a woman in the office, she can't hold it, it's too big. you have a size constraint. You know that this is the maximum size, 148. We knew that was our maximum diameter. There's a lot of 3D prints, bits of pieces in there. Prints for the wall now. The beautiful silicone one. So I'll just pass this around. And a few more rounds of iteration. We arrived to the final product, which is basically a multiple USB charger with integrated cable management. The key, I guess, is to kind of keep a clear story and having all this kind of user research, identifying the needs and defining the feature, defining the benefit is really key to us when we build a web page or when we build, like in that case, it was Kickstarter campaign, to kind of really always push the benefit more than the feature. The video has been done in-house in the office with Charles, our graphic designer, and a really normal random camera, so there's no need like a big budget. I mean, we're looking for graphic resources, so we are a company. But it's really more about building your story, a clear story, and not really making a beautiful video for Kickstarter. And that's kind of a conclusion slide that kind of sums up what I try to illustrate with like a few products. It's not from me. It's something really standard design thinking process, and a little quote from Tim Brown, the CEO of IDEO, that was in Hong Kong for Business Insider 2 weeks ago. So really again, learn about the audience. So who you're designing for. You don't need like a big focus group to do that. You go with like gut feeling and insight what you think about, and kind of define a first brief and like user needs and insight. If you can do a quick survey with like SurveyMonkey or anything online, you can really get data really easily for free. So really that's the first part, kind of like defining the user needs and the first brief. Then go as quickly as possible at the ideation sketch, quick prototype, and test. And put that at all these really ugly prototype you see now. Show them, get feedback from people around. Again, you don't need to do focus group to get feedback. You can just ask your friend, ask people around you, ask your commercial retail partner if you're already selling product. And then go back. It's really a cycle. So you're right here, you finish your first round of iteration, and then go back to the define, and then refine again, and then do that as many times as necessary until you have something that filled is strong enough and clear enough. So Tim Brown is saying design thinking is a human-centered approach to innovation that draws from the designer's toolkit to integrate the needs of people, the possibilities of technology, and the requirements for business success. Thank you very much.